Very good evening to each and everyone. Yeah, so before we start the session, please type in the chat box if I'm properly audible to you guys. Just a yes or no would work. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so by the time we are waiting for the other participants to join in, let's know each other. Let's type in the chat box if you guys are looking for an opportunity or you're currently working somewhere or you have already got an offer from somewhere. You can just type in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so how many people are currently working remotely? Those who are working, like how many people are working remotely? Great. Okay, so I think we have a lot of remote audience over here. Perfect. So let's begin with the session. So yeah, hello everyone. Very good evening to each and every one of you. We are delighted to have you all here, and we hope this session brings value to your career. We have some amazing insights and engaging Q&A at the end. So be ready with all the questions you have, and we'll try to pick them all in the Q&A. So I'll be your host for the session, and with me we have our honored guest for this evening, Mr. Prateek Jain. Prateek is a technologist with over 12 years of experience in CMS, DXP, and marketing automation, system integrations, and mobile application. So Prateek is currently serving as the director in digital experience at Accelerant. So welcome to the session, Prateek.
Yeah, thank you, Divya. It's good to be here.
Great. So, before we start with the session, for the people who have joined the session for the first time, I would like to introduce you guys to our Remote Revolution series. So, at Uplers, our mission is to make hiring and getting hired reliable, simple, and fast. And therefore, Remote Revolution is an initiative where we invite speakers from top notch companies like Twilio, GitLab, Atlassian, BrowserStack, Accelerant, and many more. To the speakers come to share their insights on how these remote companies hire, their process, culture, interview tips, and remote readiness traits required by top global brands. So for the people who have missed our season one, we will share the link for our season one sessions at the end of the session, so please be there. We'll definitely share it. And okay, so let's move forward to the agenda. So Prateek will take us through his journey. He'll share insights into his role. He'll talk about the unique culture and shapes what shapes Accelerant and his experience working with a remote team. Following that, we'll explore the intricate hiring process at Accelerant. Next on the agenda, we'll address the critical questions. So please be ready with your questions. So yeah, let's begin with the session and welcome Prateek. Without much ado, let's dive into the session. To start with, tell us something about your career journey at Accelerant.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Divya. Really glad to be here and excited to kind of share the journey that I have had as part of the remote culture and as part of the Accelerant. So, but before that, briefly introducing myself again. I'm Prateek Jain. I lead digital experience services at Accelerant. And I've been into the industry for over 15 years, delivering solutions around digital experiences or building digital experiences for our customers. I work with multiple mid and large enterprises customers in using technologies or solutions like content management system, marketing automations, as you pointed out. I'm also responsible for growing and expanding our digital experiences services internally, and this is where I'm responsible to go out, absorb new technologies, absorb new practices, bring that inside at Accelerant, and then help them grow and how we can provide better services and solutions to our customers over here. I came in as a, just like probably most of us over here. I started my career as an intern, as a software engineer, and in the past 15 years, I've played multiple roles as a developer, as an engineer, as a platform architect, as a product lead, as an engineering manager, and now as a director of digital experience platform. So, yeah, I've seen quite a few roles in the whatever little time I had as part of this industry. Um, I was lucky enough to start working remotely pre-COVID. I think most of us have been working remotely post-COVID, and that's how our families, the people around us, our colleagues, and has been recognizing how remote works and getting used to it. I've been working remotely for over 12 years. I mean, yeah, back then it was very different. I mean, it was unheard of when people come to your house, your relatives come into your home, and all right, they will all question and then ask you, right? I mean, what is work from home? And then they will assume that you can go and sit with them in the same room and not work. So it took some time to kind of get used to it, not only for me, but as well as for my colleagues, but as well as my families and the relatives, friends, and all who were there. So things have changed a lot since then. I mean, there has been more like stable internet, what it was there like 12 years back, challenges that you need a separate desk or your work environment from your home, and all right. And now that everybody understands, it's much, much easier, but still remote has its own challenges, and some of them we will try to cover in the upcoming session. Um, I also am an active community contributor. I participate in the various open source communities, especially Drupal and the Mautic. I also have a small podcast named as DXP Deconstructed. Do check it out on the YouTube. There are a few episodes that are already out there. And yeah, that's briefly about me.
Great, great. Amazing. So, thank you so much, Prateek, for talking to us about your experience and your role at Accelerant. Your knowledge really shines through all these years of rich experience that you hold. So, we are truly honored to have you here today, and we look forward to gaining valuable insights from your expertise. So, moving on, what is the first thing we usually check out when applying for a role at any organization? So, basically, it's about the company. We look for things like what they do, how and when it started, its cultural values, and everything. So, researching the company before an interview is a strategic move that not only benefits the employer but also empowers you as a candidate. During interviews, being knowledgeable about the company allows you to communicate effectively. You can use reference specific projects and achievements or company values, demonstrating your genuine interest and enthusiasm for the role. So, Prateek, tell us something about Accelerant as an organization.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, that's very true, Divya. Excellent. I mean, I've been at Excellent for over 7 years or close to 7 years now. So yeah, I've seen the organization grow from where we were like 35, 40 people, and now we are like 200 plus people, fully distributed from get go. Like I said, not only me, the Excellent has been remote from get go, and over 12 years of growth and journey where we have seen different things, different challenges, different success. And all, and then over this entire period of 12 years over here, right? I mean, the way I would like to describe Resilient is like more like we are a value-driven agency with a work culture that fuels success through open source software, focusing upon employee happiness, engineering excellence, customer success, and more. So we describe ourselves and we take pride in calling ourselves as a people-centric organization, focus on delivering seamless and authentic and great customer experiences for our customers and their end customers over here. And we are a global organization. Our team members have been there in like six different time zones, six or probably seven different time zones now, all around the globe. Like I mentioned, 12 years of growth and more, and fully more. We are already 200 plus people and then growing strong. We hope to kind of grow further very, very soon. We have delivered multiple mid and large enterprise engagements. We work with various customers and all. I will briefly talk about the kind of the customers that we work with in the upcoming slides as well. We take pride in contributing to the community like Uplers and the other open source community that being out there for Drupal, Mautic, Salesforce, and various other communities that we have been part of. And we like to be involved. We like to share what we gain. We like to share our learnings as well as try to network and then work with the people or the awesome community that has this out over there. Apart from this, while that's the people centric and who we are, uh, there's another side of it, like what we do for our customers. So Excellent is a digital experience, a full digital experience agencies, and then we come with capabilities around all around strategy, design and build, and grow services. So as a one-stop solution for our customers, we kind of help out on all three aspects over here. And our business solutions and services helps other make digital change and an impactful change across the projects that they may have. So, for example, within the strategy, we help our customers understand, envision, or articulate digital as a business strategy, implement it across the enterprise. Strategy phase also involves defining the project goals, target audience, key performance indicators, and more. So that's how we start and work with our customers. And once the strategy is defined, we help our customers with design and build as well, where we with things like involving creating human-centered designs, conceptualizing, prototyping, creating the architectures of the software or the IT systems, coding, testing, launching, refining the product, and yeah, powered by the deep customer understanding to test and implement these things. And our team members, our colleagues know how to assess customer needs and create the products and the services or the experience through the strategy that we have defined in the previous phase, and help our customers realize their vision and deliver the experiences they want to. And once we have designed and built, we also help out our customers in the growth phase. And growth phase is where their product or we enable businesses to insight-driven decision making, hyper-personalized campaigns management, quality engineering, and various touch points. We focus on launching the products, gathering user feedback, making necessary improvements, and then again fueling the strategy from those growth strategies. So it's not only bit just design and build and forget. We come at the growth stage. We help our customers measure the success, measure what's working well, what's not working well, identify, strategize it again based on those inputs, and come back again to design and build. Because it's a never-ending cycle. I mean, once you build a product and a service, to grow it, to continuously grow as a business and as a product, we continue to fuel them all around in various phases of in any digital product. Uh, then, I mean, yeah, like I said, right? I mean, and it's not, while all these three can happen independently, uh, this we also make a deep connection. So it's not like one piece is not connected with other. One piece kind of fuels the other section, grow, and then come back into the strategy. And that is where we uncover various things for our customers and deliver them at all across the phases. Some of our customers just come for strategy, some come for growth, some come for design and build. But at the same time, a lot of our customers come for all three as a together. Um, and our growth or our services is built on these five key services. I mean, there's more actually than this. I mean, we just try to cram everything that we could into this one slide. So starting with experience design, which is where like visibility testing, visual design, UI UX kind of a thing. So that is where the design team is there, and this where is my counterpart and the director of experience design helps out and leads that vertical. There's digital engineering where we deliver bespoke applications using various technologies like Vue.js, React, JavaScript frameworks, and various other cloud engineering technologies. There's a quality engineering for our testing services and delivering both manual and the automation testing services, accessibility testing, test automation, even the consultation on testing and quality services. There's digital marketing as well as a service where we not only help our digital marketing needs, but also help our customers. And digital marketing is one of the grow area service because once you build the product, you need help with digital marketing and grow the service or the product. And that is where we come in and help our customer. And lastly, over here, digital experience platform. So this is what I lead at Axelerant. I mean, for each of these five services, there is a separate and an individual service area director, and then they lead their own vertical in that sense and have provide the dedicated focus. And at the same time, we all collaborate together to deliver these as a solution to our customer over here. So as part of digital experience platforms, we work with technologies like Drupal, Acquia, Mautic, HubSpot, Salesforce, Contentful, various other JavaScript frameworks, headless solutions, marketing solutions, and a lot more over here. So apart from it, there are few other services which are not listed over here, and then they are some of them have already launched, some of them are about to get launched. I mean, few of them are services like intelligent automation, customer experience as a service, learning and development services. So we are very focused on providing and launching more and more services as we grow, and then help our customer to fully navigate the ecosystem and the challenges that they want to overcome by providing some of these services. Um, Apart from it, I think I'm just trying to move to the next slide. Yeah, who we work with. So these are some of the customers that we work with. On the right-hand side, you could see some of the prominent names like Silver University, Red Hat, Scouts, the State University of New York, East West Center. And we work across the industries. We don't only serve a specific industry, but then we do work with like non-profits, higher education, healthcare, consumer brands, retail, media and entertainment, and a lot more. A lot of our solutions and the services uh, are industry agnostic over here. And then moving on. Yeah, okay, yeah. Like I
Yes.
mentioned in the introduction, right? The value revision. I mean, you have a question. Yeah, Divya, what do you?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing these information. So, 150 plus clients and presence in 8 plus countries and 12 plus years of helping digital change makers make the change. That's impressive indeed. So, that brings us to the next slide. That is the value at Accelerant. So, when employees resonate with the company's value, they are generally more motivated and engaged in their work. Understanding and embracing the company's values can contribute to a sense of um, purpose and fulfillment in their job. So knowing about the company's value is very important. So over to you, Prateek. What are the values that bind the entire organization to work towards a shared goal?
Yeah, so yeah, just like any organization, we really thrive on our values. We believe in living them day in and day out, and not only just on the paper or on some document as a policy that's written over there. We try to embrace these values as part of everything that we do. And these are some of the examples. The reason I intended with these bullet points over here was just to give you some sort of an example. This is not like this is the only way to demonstrate a particular value, but these are just some of the examples through which I would like to explain the values, how we embrace them. Like, for example, kindness. So we believe like if we collaborate on tasks with our peers and all, we are kind to each other. We are collaborative. We provide meaningful and timely feedback. I mean, that's an act of kindness when you provide the feedback to somebody which is constructive, which can help people improve in whatever journey they are on. Calmly giving and respectfully receiving feedback, and not like, yeah, I don't care what you think about it, right? But then receiving a feedback is also a kindness, openness, right? I mean, sharing our updates. If you're not able to work on something, it's okay, right? I mean, share it. Hey, I was not able to work on something. I'm stuck with something. Having a clear and consistent communication. Document each and everything, as many things as you can, right? I mean, we have an open handbook. Anybody who is interested can actually go and then Google it, Accelerant Open Handbook, and you will find all our policies, internal policies, our way of working, free for everyone that is out there, and that is coming from a lot of other organizations actually do that as well, and we try to embrace that, and we try to share all our policies and our way of working upfront with anybody for free and for reference and for to freely adopt in whichever way they may want to. And yeah, enthusiasm, right? I mean, like, so we being enthusiastic toward whatever we are working towards, right? Be it helping out our colleagues, be helping out our customers, working on a policy, speaking up proactively, right, regarding tasks at hand. So don't hold off yourself when you don't believe in something, or you believe in something. Do talk about it. Often recognize your team members. It's hard at times. It's hard to give a feedback and also to recognize and say a thank you to somebody who has helped out, right? I mean, it's not sometimes it doesn't come that naturally. So how do we do that? And we try to embrace this as part of our culture, and we truly believe in kind of following these values or embracing these values. Said that, like I said, these are just the examples. This does not necessarily mean our values are limited to these things, but it's kind of applying. It applies to anything that we try and do as part of our our way of working.
That's awesome. So, these core values collectively depict a workplace culture that values openness, kindness, and enthusiasm, and all this coming together to give the clients the best experience, what we call the excellent difference. Great. So, moving on to the next slide. So, when applying for a job at any international company or any company for that matter, culture fitment is very important. It's crucial that your skills, values align with the company's culture because people usually don't give that importance to the cultural round. So, Pratik, tell us something about the culture at Accelerant.
Yeah. I think culture is the most important aspect apart from obviously your work, your day-to-day work, your compensation benefits. But culture kind of for me sits on the top, because if the culture is not aligned with the way that I would like to work, I'm not going to be a fit over there, no matter what. So, and as part of the excellent culture, we try to embrace some of these things, and these are some of the pointers that I was to kind of explain it, what kind of culture do we have. And one of them is people centric, like I mentioned earlier on. Our policies, our practices are designed to empower people. If something doesn't work, we listen to our people and change them. So we give them the flexibility to go question a policy that doesn't work, or it has changed. What used to work for us 2 years back may or may not be relevant today. So how do we keep on adopting and improving upon that? We have a lot of team member allowances and benefits. We invest heavily in team members' growth and well-being. And some of the benefits that we have are continuous education allowance. So if you want to pursue, acquire certification, get yourself educated, enroll into some course, I mean, that is all sponsored, and that comes in as part of the benefit. There's a health and wellness benefit, not only for you, but then on your family members as well, from the medical insurance, medical insurances and more. We're also values driven, like I've already spoken about the three values of enthusiasm, kindness, and openness. Our policy designs, behavior, work practices are dictated by these core values. We place the paramount importance on upholding these values, even when it's difficult. So it's easy to follow your values when things are all going well, but it's difficult or it's difficult to follow those when you are in a situation which is complex, not too friendly, some uncharted territory and all, right? I mean, we try and strive to follow those values that we have and adopt and embrace them even when the times are hard. We believe in giving feedback and recognition. We regularly share constructive feedback in private and with the intent of helping people grow with much kindness and professionalism. And we also try and celebrate every wins that we have, be it big or small, in front of the entire organization through Leapsum. So there are certain tools that we have adopted. We actually have a dedicated celebration channel or celebrate channel as part of our Slack. We have recognition channel. We have feedback channel from our customers. So any feedback from our customer coming to us, good or bad, it's visible to entire organization because we believe in openness. So even if sometimes things are not working right, I mean, we try to share with every team member rather than just hiding the facts. So that's where we apply openness as well. And each of them is open and available to anyone at any point in time through Slack, which is one of our tools. One of the most important aspects, psychological safe spaces. I think while this is very important in a physical workspace, right? I mean, to go out and feel comfortable, feel safe about who you are, irrespective of your gender, your belief, where you come from, your culture, your background, right? I mean, it's important to psychologically safe. It's equally important in the remote environment as well. It's easy to say that, hey, in remote environment it doesn't matter, but then in remote environment as well, this is very, very important. Even on these Zoom calls, how do you make the other person feel safe, right? I mean, to work with. How can people be more vulnerable to share their weaknesses and also celebrate their wins? Hey, this is where I need help. I mean, sometimes it's okay to ask for help. And how do we provide them, anybody, a safe space to be able to share that, hey, where they are not doing well, and then how they need support on anything. And we try to work towards it. We consciously create that space through coaching of our people managers and leaders, enabling our team members to fearlessly grow, share, and innovate. And all of this leads to unhindered growth. We try to work towards it where we encourage and empower people to be creative, take risks, follow their evolving passion. People have the freedom to forge their career however they want. So if somebody started as a particular role and they want to switch into a different role, we try to be open about it. There's a process set to it, how to move from one role to another, even if it's a completely different thing than what you thought you would be great at, and you're not liking it, or you want to go to a different role or different expertise. Most of our and the fact is that, I mean, most of our people managers and leaders have been promoted from junior levels, and literally career moves are pretty common here. So if somebody's a QA, they can be a business analyst. Somebody is a developer, they can be a project manager. Somebody's a project manager, they could be a marketer. So, or could be the pre-sales team, right? So we provide that opportunity, and which helps in providing unhindered growth to our team members.
Yes, that's really great. So these set of culture values not only guides individual behavior but also contributes to the overall success and positive atmosphere within the organization. So thank you for sharing these key cultural aspects. So yes, moving on. So as you guys are working remotely, what are the things or tools you use to ensure smooth transition from on-site to remote?
Yeah. No, so like I said, remote is hard. I mean, I think even though we have been doing it, I don't mean, I mean, every culture, every organization have their own challenges, and remote is no easy. Like I said, right? I mean, especially coming from, let's say, I like to believe that most of the people on the call, right? I mean, they live with their family, they are their kids, your spouse, your mother, your parents, your siblings, and a lot more, right? I mean, and it's difficult to foster the environment which is supportive of remote environment. Now, at the same time, there are a lot of organizations who try to support the remote environment as well, and some of them, yeah, pets as well. Somebody said pets, so that's true. And by the way, we have guild pets as a channel where people share their pets pictures. I mean, we encourage that. I mean, we have a dedicated channel where people like cats and dogs are kind of sitting on your laptops around you, and then kind of yeah, working remotely. But for us, our remote story has been unique. Like I said, our remote story started like 12 years back from the get-go. Exit has been remote, and then I think it's all started with Ankur Gupta, the CEO of Exhilarant. And back then we used to have a very small team in Srinagar, and on one occasion there was a flood, and that disrupted everything, especially because yeah, there was no internet, the internet lines were cut off, people were not able to travel, commute to the office and all. And Ankur always believed that people can work remotely, even though Ankur himself was not in the Srinagar, he was working remotely. He made sure that all of the people in our Srinagar team kind of were able to work remotely, even it provided data cards back then, right? I mean, we shipped them and then a lot of that stuff. And that's how the remote started for us. We first brought in the tools like Slack, Zoom, Leapsome, a lot more. We heavily invest in the tools that encourage us to not do micromanagement, not think about, hey, what if this person is not available tomorrow, right? What if this person is not available in the next hour? And we try to use and adopt these tools over here. We continuously focus on the creating a culture. So the culture that we talked about in the previous slide, we continuously try and enforce it and improve upon it. It's difficult to change a culture after a while, but at the same time, once you have the right things in place, I think it kind of grows and flourishes on its own. And yeah, and then gradually also bringing people together. So we also believe while we are a remote, we also try to celebrate and then in-person things. So we have offsites, we have team meetups in the city. So most of us are spread across various, I mean, geographic location, even in India. So I'm based out of Jaipur. Our team members, some of them are in Mumbai, Delhi, multiple, and we have few people in Middle East. We have in US, Germany, and a lot more. So the thing is, we try and encourage and do the city-wise meetups. There's a co-working allowances as well if somebody feels that, hey, yeah, your relatives are coming at your home, right? And then you don't have the space to work at your home, right? Go and then work from the co-working space. So those allowances are also covered, which helps you work without getting distracted and then worrying about various different things. And yeah, then supporting infrastructure for every team members. And by infrastructure, I mean there's a mentorship program, there's an education and certification allowance that I spoke about briefly. There's an event sponsorship. So if somebody likes to go attend the event, be it AWS event, be it Drupal event, yeah, various other UI UX events that are happening all around the globe. We try and sponsor our people to go over there and learn from other industry experts out there. But while we were doing this, still it was hard. So because remote is hard in that sense, while all of these things helps us to help facilitate, help individuals improve. But then the last piece of the puzzle was performance coaching. We and this is again Ankur's brainchild, where he bought performance coaching as a dedicated role in house. Today we have 4 performance coaches who do one-on-ones with our team members, and that has breathed the life into our values and the culture in an essence. And that's what I would like to briefly talk about it as well. Like coaching at Exit, like all of us, and no matter what career stage we are at, where we come from, we may be expert in 10 different things. We all need coaching on one or the other thing to keep learning, to keep growing and all. And since 2015, this has been a dedicated role within Exhilarant. And our coaching team consists of professional coaches, overseeing coaching, training of teams and people at Exhilarant. They work with individuals, teams, group coaching sessions, personalized training sessions. And through this coaching, we actually ensure that the leaders and the people managers ensure embodies the traits of our core values in action. So the values that we talk about, how do we ensure that they are in practice on ground? So that's where the coaching comes into place. Every team members is able to navigate their professional journey, their career challenges, providing the psychological safe space that I talk about. If somebody is struggling with something, they can go to the performance coaches, talk about it, the challenges they have, and then they can expect the required support, what they would need. Yeah, like I said, giving feedback and recognition is also hard. So our coaching is also about how do we give feedback, how do we embrace the feedback so that we continuously grow at Exhilarant and yeah, improve our core and professional human skills as well. So various other activities that keeps on happening. We have like yeah, various other remote events that we try to do, show and tells and things like that to not only develop and then be more out there, share what we have learned, but then also kind of learn from others. Where because in remote environment we don't sometimes get to learn by seeing. Like in a physical office, you could actually go and then look at somebody's screen and then just start talking and then you start learning it. But we make sure that happens in the remote environment as well. So we have tools in place, we have different Slack channels in place, which kind of enables us to go and learn into different things and then share and share your knowledge. And that's how, as an organization, we can grow when it's people grow. We really truly believe into it. And then that requires continuous learning and unlearning as well. So our coaching also helps to unlearn some of the beliefs, some of the things, some of the way of the working, which may or may not be the effective ways to work anymore. And that is why we are one of the India's best workplace in health and wellness category as well. And we got awarded as a great place of work as well over there. So all of this coaching plays a really, really important part in enforcing our culture, and we continue to invest into our people.
That's really, really amazing. And thanks for sharing this inspiring narrative, showcasing the transformative impact of performance coaching at Accelerant. It's really amazing. So, yes, let's move to the next slide, which talks about Accelerant's interview process. So, for all the people who are here, if you have any kind of question from this or in further slides, you can just type in the chat box, and our backend team is noting down your questions, and we'll definitely try to pick it all. So, yes, over to you, Prateek.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, talking about the interview process, right? I mean, so uh, yeah, first of all, you have to go on our Excel website /excel.com/careers page, and that is where you would find the openings and the relevant openings at any given point in time. So continue to check out over there. There's a lot of information about there which I may have not covered as part of this session. Where who we are, what do we do? There are some videos over there. Read about it as well. Or see them, watch those videos. Our interview process starts with more like an application review. So as soon as somebody applies with an application within for any particular job opening, I mean, this gets into our system. There is some automated filtering that also happens. There is certain automation that is also built in internally. But then we try and review each and every profile in that sense and make sure that it aligns with the position that you are applying for. Once that is qualified, we start with a culture conversation. So a lot of organizations actually, which they call it as an HR round, we don't use HR as a terminology. We use culture and the people as a terminology, and then we want to ensure that anybody who is joining us is a cultural fit for each other, right? I mean, they are a fit for us and we are a fit for them as an individual. And we will be able to support them and they will be able to support each other. So we try and do our cultural conversation upfront rather than at the end. And this is around where we see the values are aligned with our values or no. Once that cultural round is done, you get into the peer reviews. Application is internally reviewed. There's a hiring panel for each job position. So depending upon the position, so if you're applying for a Drupal developer or a content marketer role or a pre-sales engineer, there would be a different hiring panel depending upon the position. And there's another round of review based on the outcome of the culture conversation, based on your application, your resume, your profile, and that sort of a thing. And once we are satisfied, we move to the peer conversation. So that is where we do these Zoom calls. Typically, these last anywhere between 45 minutes to 1 hour kind of thing, depending upon the role and the conversation that is going on, where we try to evaluate on individual skills, their experience, their approach on scenarios. So it's not only about what you know of, but then what would you do in a certain situation? So we would try to give the scenario-based questions and see how you would react to the things that you know, and how would you also react to the things that you don't know. Because as part of your job, I mean, there will always be newer things, and we believe that how somebody reacts and operates is going to be very, very important as part of our culture. And this also validates that somebody doesn't need micromanaging, because being in a remote we don't believe in micromanaging. We don't do that. At the same time, we have certain expectations from an individual that they will be able to carry out certain things on their own as well, with the required support and the ecosystem that we have built. Then getting into another second peer round with more detailed questions in general about the position. Sometimes, rarely, there's a third round as well, depending upon if there's certain crucial position or if there's something that we were not able to validate. So we try to kind of play around with that. And once we are through, there's an offer discussion that happens through our recruitment team, and that is where you also the other information about the joining, the other policies also get shared. And each of the candidate has a flexibility and the opportunity to ask questions at any given point in time in this workflow. So in whatever stage you are, please, we encourage the people who are applying with us to ask more questions and learn more about us, and in turn learn about Exhibit as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So yes, wonderful. Thank you, Prateek. We appreciate your inputs on hiring process. Your thoughts, explanation has offered valuable insights in both expectations and the alignment of company values with the selection criteria. So, any tips for our audience on how they can prepare for a job at Accelerant or any global remote company?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then these are some of the pointers. Again, I won't say this is like the very, very exhaustive list, but then this is what we thought that would be a good start, let me say that in that manner, right? I mean, first of all, learning about the organization. So I think, and this applies not only for the remote organization, but then even if you're applying for any organization around the globe, wherever you are going, irrespective of what position you're applying for, it's really important to learn about the organization. Don't just show up and then you don't know about organization, what they do and all. So the type of the work they do, who they work with, their clients, what industries they work with, what has been their journey, who are the people within that organizations and all. This really helps you understand the organization well, and then structure your responses accordingly, right? When something is asked to you and all, and then also help you validate that is this organization a right fit for me or not. uh, know their core values, if any, and then understand the reasons behind their core values. So why Excellent has adopted openness? Why is that? Why not some other value, right? A lot of organizations actually share the values that they have and then why they have adopted and then how they put it into practice. So for us, you will find certain content, certain blog pieces about our core values as well. So it's important to learn about it as well, and then try to demonstrate those values. If you really believe into it, try to demonstrate those values during your interviews and your process, your application process as well. uh, Spend time in job description. I cannot stress upon this more. A lot of times we apply for job just by looking at the title. Hey, there's a software developer, there's a QA role, and do not read about the job description in detail. I think it's a very crucial thing that we understand each and every aspect within the what's required, what's good to have, and have the good understanding of where we are great at and where we are good at, where we are average and where we are bad at, right? And it's okay. It's okay. No organization expects you to know each and everything in entirety. At the same time, it's important to know what you don't know. So by going into the job description, that's the only way that you will be able to align that, hey, I align with 50% of the requirements away. I align with 80% of the requirements mentioned in the job description. And that's a really, really crucial factor when you're interviewing with anyone, and be honest about it, what you know and what you don't know about it. Now, yeah, dress appropriately. Again, when I say appropriately, it could be, yeah, whatever you are comfortable with. I mean, we at Exim believe that, I mean, wear what you are comfortable with. I mean, by working at home, I mean, whatever attire you are comfortable, you are going out, sometimes you're working outside. But yeah, looking professionally on camera. And by professionally, I don't mean that wearing a jacket, wearing a professional shirt or whatever, right? I mean, whatever you're comfortable with works. But yeah, it's important that you wear something that is not too distracting, let's say, especially during the interviews, so that you are able to strike that conversation with the interviewer over there. Um, when you're doing the remote interviews, it's really important to select a location that's calm, quiet, and well lighted. So a lot of times, I understand that sometimes we have challenges, we are commuting, we are at home, and different sort of challenges kind of come up. I advise to reschedule the interviews if you think you are not in the appropriate place. Things happen, things change, and all. But try to be in the calm and quiet place for the interview, especially because you don't only you want to present yourself fully, and if you are distracted about something, I mean, your true self won't come out to the interviewer. So I would highly suggest that pick a place, show up 5 minutes before. Yeah, it should be well lighted, not like dark rooms and all, because people should be able to see the real you. I think there's a lot that you say out of your mouth, but there's a lot of your body language comes out of it as well. And if you're in a well lighted room, your mood will get elevated. At the same time, interviewer will be able to see the positive you when you are on those calls. Do a little tech check. A lot of times, yeah, happens. We live in that world where still like, hey, are you able to hear me? Am I able to hear you? And that sort of a thing. I can't see your screen, that sort of a thing. Try and avoid that. Try and do your tech check before the call so that chances of anything going wrong over the call are minimal or none. But yeah, don't, if you are late and then something is not working, that does not have a right impression on the interviewer. So try to be there before check those, do your tech checks, your location and things like that before you go into the interview, and this is true for even in person in general. Yeah, go in with a positive attitude and don't forget to smile. I think people like to work with happy people. We all do, and we all like to be around happy people. So yeah, being there, try to smile and try to share, being yourself fully is really important in any interviews or any conversation that we typically have. Be open and reflect their values during the interview. So, like I said, right, I mean, once you learn about the core values, try to reflect that. So, if you know that exit value is open, let's try to reflect, try to be open about it. People would know if you're not open about something. And by open, I don't mean to talk about anything personal, but then be open about the what you believe, what you struggle with, your challenges, your skills, your experience, what you don't know, what you know, and that sort of a thing. Yeah, and and about that, right? And align your answers accordingly. Also, ask questions. I think, I mean, once you know about the organizations, once you know about who they are, and also you have good understanding of the job description as well, the roles and the responsibility, you should have some questions. So because but yeah, this is what you're going to spend your next your time with, your wake up hours, right? I mean, if you have 24 hours in a day, you spend most of those wake up hours at work, unfortunately. So it's important that you ask questions which matters to you, right? I mean, be it a policy, be it a job description, the people you are going to work with, what would your day to day look like, what kind of expectation you can have from others, what organization have expectations from you, and all of that sort of a things, because it's equally important for interviewer to know you, but for you to know the interviewer and the organization is equally important as well for a fit. Uh, and when nervous, no matter what, right? I mean, even before coming to this webinar, no matter what, right? I mean, I was nervous as well, and then we all get nervous with various different things, some stage fears, talking to people, talking to unknown people. So it's okay to be nervous. It's completely fine. I mean, even when you're on the call, be nervous. Just take a sip of water, and even before that, if you're nervous, practice, talk to your friend, talk to your colleagues, talk to your family members who you are comfortable with, that you're nervous about something. How should I respond to this thing and all? I think with practice, that nervousness should ease out. And if you're still nervous, acknowledge that over the call. Hey, I'm nervous. I need a couple of minutes. It's completely fine. I think we all get into that zone, and it's really important for to bring yourself fully in any conversation, especially these job interviews.
Great. Yeah, that's so true. And amazing information you have shared. And I'm sure everyone will be eager to apply these tips while looking for a job at Accelerant, which we are going to come to shortly. So, yes, yeah, here we have this slide, which is job opportunities. So, the people who were asking how can we apply and what are the open roles, this slide is for you guys. In this slide, we have active jobs and passive jobs. Active jobs are the uh, jobs which are currently active, like you can go and apply for it, and passive are the ones which are not active right now, but like in the near future they'll be live. So yes, Prateek, over to you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, like you mentioned, right? I mean, yeah, obviously, just like any organizations, we keep on adding more roles and more active jobs. So if you see yourself as a fit, go on the accelerant.com/careers. I think somebody asked in the chat as well, what's the URL? So this is where you can also go and learn about our culture, who we are, view the open positions at all point in time. So we try and keep there updated. It's best to go on this URL to see what roles are open. We do hire for other roles as well at times, be it DevOps engineer, quality analysts, automation engineers, marketeers, and lot more. So it's best to go on that page, keep on following that, keep looking at our LinkedIn page, follow that, and then and we do those kind of promotions. And it's best to be part of that and then refer this particular URL.
Yes, thank you so much, Prateek. I think we are done with the slides, and thank you so much for sharing all these informations. So yes, now we have opened the floor for Q&A, and whosoever has any question, please type in the chat box, and we already have few questions. So let's begin with it. So there is a question, that is, what are the common mistakes candidates make during remote job interviews and how that can be avoided?
I think the slide that we had, right? I think it's those pointers are actually coming from some of the things that we have observed. Even I have observed at certain times when we are interviewing somebody and all, right? I mean, people just sometimes believe it's okay to be late. Sometimes it's yeah, their background, who they are, it's not clear. The tech check is not there, and we have seen this very common. It's not like their skills; they are very skillful. They probably fit into the job as well. But one major thing apart from this that we have seen is that a lot of times candidates do not review the job description in entirety and do not spend time in learning about the organization. And what keeps on happening in that case is they try to understand something and something gets asked and then they have no clue. So that's very, I mean, I won't say it's very common, but it's one of the prominent reasons where we try to avoid working with folks who do not care to read about us and just directly, it's easy to go on LinkedIn or on job portal, upload your resume and then forget about it. If somebody calls you, then you show up on the interview day. While that may work at some places, I think it's important that you know and really spend time and apply only if you truly believe into that. So I would say that do that. I think, and that's one of the common mistakes that I see, that even if somebody's skillful, they kind of give away the chance of having a proper crack at the interview.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for answering that. So we have another question, which is there any job seekers community at Accelerant? Like, does our CV get stored for future jobs in case none is available currently?
Yes, we do. I'm not entirely sure how we map it, to be honest. I mean, I may have to check with our recruitment team, but we do have a central system where we store all applicants. And I know, I mean, we sometimes refer them for, like, for example, if you're not a fit for the current position, right? I mean, then and there's a new position that gets opened up. Sometimes our recruitment team go and check out for the previous applications as well. So we don't lose that data. There's everybody who has ever applied at the Excellent. We have it centrally available and it's accessible to the hiring panel members, the recruitment team, the people ops team, and the leaders within the team as well. So yes, we do have it, but then again, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, where how do we refer it, and that question is probably for our recruitment team. I think they should be able to answer that better.
Okay, no worries. So yes, we have another question, which is very common. Many people are asking this, that can the new graduates be part of your organization because they cannot see any opportunity for freshers on your website?
So currently not. Currently, like I think there might not be any job openings for the graduates, but we have ran some graduate training program in the past. So even the team that I talked about, like our team in Srinagar, we actually helped train about roughly 15 engineers from our Srinagar team and various other locations, even from the location where I come from in Jaipur. We had a training program for freshers and the graduates. These are people coming fresh out of the college, as well as 1 or 2 years of experience who need certain training and be ready for the job role. Currently, we don't have it. Said that may change pretty soon. I don't know when. I mean, we have one of the services that I missed talking about when I was explaining the services was learning and development services. So there is a new person, I mean, who has worked actually in the past. Excellent is joining us as part of our learning and development team. They would be the director of learning and development team, and they would have, apart from the role of training our team members who already are present at the Excellent and then upskill them and all. We may also have a programs that would be more useful for freshers or recent graduates, and we may look to hire more freshers then. So as of now, yeah, we have done in the past. We currently don't have it, but we do have a plans of doing that in the future, and I hope that happens soon.
Okay, thank you for answering that. So yes, we have another question, which is what kind of tools and knowledge does the company look out for in terms of UI UX designer, especially at associate level, other than Figma and US thinking process?
Hmm. That would be a good question for a director of UI and the UX or the director of experience design. I think he knows it better. But I'll try to answer that. I think, see, we first of all look for, and I don't think there's an open job or posting for that particular. I don't recollect that, to be honest. But when we look into the UI UX, right? I mean, obviously you are able to do your craft, right? I mean, whichever tools that you're using. I mean, Figma is something that we use very extensively in-house. And we used to use also Envision back then, but then yeah, Figma is the primary tool. that we do that. And also for the UX, there are different things and different tools that exist out there. I may not recollect each and every tool. Like I said, I don't come from the UI UX background. But yeah, I think for us, more than the tools, I think it's also about the skill. So if you have a good portfolio, it's if you maintain and if you have delivered results, a lot of our uh, UI UX and especially the UX side of the things, right? Be able to deliver those digital experiences, right? I mean, catering to diversity. Like if you are delivering an application that needs to cater to the diverse people across the globe, right? I mean, different communities, different people. How we operate in a particular culture, it's very different than sometimes people operate in different cultures. So how can you build those kind of a UI user experiences? It's really important. How do you build accessible applications is very important. So while I'm not answering the tool side of things, I'm probably trying to answer some of the skills that may be relevant for that thing. So we look for those skills where you have a good portfolio, you have that sense of designing, and you are able to communicate your design. So what I mean by that is that I mean design is one such thing that I particularly believe, and I don't know how our director of experience design would react to this, but then I still believe that designs is very personal at times. Like what you believe in, I may not believe in, and so on and so forth. But and therefore, it's very important to convey your design methodology and bring everybody on the same page. So if you're able to do that, I mean, then you are probably a great designer on the UI UX person.
Okay, thank you. So yes, the another question is, how much organization is using ATS to filter resume? Is it true to make CV which is friendly with ATS? How much in percentage it plays a role in filtering resume?
I'm assuming by ATS you mean acquisition tracking system. I mean, right? I mean, so okay, fair enough. So see, we do have certain qualifying questions. So each of our job posting will, as soon as you apply for a job, you would receive a questionnaire, and questionnaires are very simple. Hey, have you done this? Yes, no. How much experience do you have? I've done it on 5 projects. I have 1 to 3 years of experience. Those kind of questions we try and ask, and that's all automated. We predefine those questions based on each of those job posting, and depending upon those responses there is some filtering. So there are certain must-haves that we have, just like any other job posting. There are certain must-haves, and if somebody doesn't qualify that and responds uh, 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 which responses are not aligned with the requirements, then we do some filtering around that. In that sense, said that sometimes exceptions are made. I mean, sometimes we do and manually also check beyond that point to kind of see if even if somebody does not have an experience, but that's highly unlikely, or it happens rarely, I would say. So yes, because we have that process, and then because to kind of also manage the influx of the applications, we like to do certain evaluation and certain filtering at that level.
Okay, thank you. So we have another question, which is, in the field of AI revolution in future, what is the future of remote jobs?
Oh, okay. I mean, I think it's like you cannot get off a calls these days without talking about the AI. No, I think AI is here to stay. It has been around for a while now, and then a lot has changed. AI I believe, would change a lot of repetitive stuff. So even the repetitive stuff is more like intelligent automation. So things like the gone are the days where certain repetitive tasks were there, like, hey, click on these 4 things, do this, and then go on and keep on doing it day in and day out. So those are repeated kind of a work, and that's where the intelligent automations using tools like Zapier, Integromat, and then a lot of other tools, Make.com, are there, and that has taken up those things. Even the new tools like generative AI specifically is really important as well to adopt it. I think as part of, I think it's not just the remote. I think it's also about how you work in any particular role, no matter where you are. It's important to adopt AI to its fullest and then make it as your assistant. So it's not about fearing about what it would replace. It's about how you can make best use of the AI that is available out there. So I personally use it for a lot of my meeting notes tracking, sometimes presentation creation, sometimes for improving my writing, sometimes to create the agenda points as well, sometimes to reinforce my thoughts as well. So I think it is here to stay, and then there will be keep on. There will be more and more things that we keep on coming day in day out. We are already seeing in past 1 year, 1.5 years or so, right? I mean, so much has changed since OpenAI, new LLM models, generative AI, Mid Journey for the creatives and the UI UX and all. You can do so much over there. So embrace it. My suggestion or my recommendation would be to embrace it. Embrace it in whatever role you have or you want to pursue. It won't replace you unless if you embrace it fully, as well as it won't. It will always be there. There will be certain creative side of you, certain solutioning side of it that you would always apply. You could always apply no matter what job or what role you are in. So as long as you are able to do that and embrace it, I think you will not only be you don't have to worry about your job security as such, but rather you would be more productive in that sense and more efficient, and then you would be able to kind of delegate a lot of repeated work to the AI and then work on the core, which is your expertise, and spend more time with it and be better at it.
It's true. Thank you so much for answering that. So yes, we have another question, which is, if someone doesn't have a college degree or drop out, and they have like 5 years of professional experience and skills that requires for position, does Accelerant consider applicants like that?
Yes, we do. So we as long as you are fit, you have the skill. And by skill, I don't mean you need to have a degree or an education background for something. I mean, all of us can acquire skill from various other platforms through experience, through various certifications out there as well. Sometimes through just experiences we are working as well. There have been folks at Excellent who did not even have an engineering degree, who used to work in shops, like more like retail shops, being out there dealing with the customers and all, and they spent time in learning the technologies that were relevant, and then they applied for a job, and they are part of Excellent as well. So yes, having a particular education degree is not a mandate. So that you need to obviously have the required skill and the experience for any job opening.
Okay. So yes, we have another question, which is, in a remote job, a teamwork is more important or individual work is more important? If a remote person is very good in performance, but is not good with few team members, then does it make any problem for that person?
Okay, yeah, seems like a trick question. So I think it's not relevant to only remote organization. As when you are in an organization, there are certain individual contributor role, right? But then as part of the remote, yeah, you will always be interacting with one or the other person. I mean, through the various teams. Sometimes, yes, you may not be leading the team, you may not be working with the end out, spending 4 hours in the same room with them. But then there is certain overlap for sure at times that might be needed. So I think it's okay. I would say that work towards it wherever I think I as an individual are liking. I mean, sometimes it's not about the people I mean, it's about you as well, how you operate with the people that you may not be too comfortable with, and it's okay. And it's okay to call out that hey, you would prefer to work with somebody else or prefer to work in a different team, and it's completely okay to call. But at the same time, I would say that I mean, try to remain open. I mean, and that is where the values come in. So, are you open about it? Are you kind enough to tell them I'm not comfortable working with you, and this is the reason why? So, if you once you say that, you will start seeing the difference as well within the teams, within whatever groups that you're working with. And I don't mean that you have to and you must work in the teams either. There has to be a balance. Important skill to work in a team and effectively work in the team.
Great. So on that note, let's end the session over here. And now we are like, thank you so much. We truly value the insights you shared with us. And thank you so much for dedicating your time to help our community grow. Your dedication has a very, good impact enhancing job opportunities within the tech communities and expanding possibilities for remote work. So we truly appreciate your efforts and thank you so much, Prateek.
Yeah, no, thank you, Divya. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, everyone who was here or who is still here to listen to us. And then I hope I was able to contribute something. But yeah, if anything, I mean, please do reach out if there's anything. And then see you.
Yeah. So, okay. So, for other people who have joined this session, we have some upcoming steps, and we'll be communicating all the details to you through WhatsApp and our social media channels. So, stay connected. And we look forward to arranging more engaging sessions. And I'm sure there are many questions which were left unanswered. So, we'll definitely call Prateek on our Discord channel, and he will be there to answer your questions. And so, you guys get, I think Shilpi has shared the link to join Discord. So you guys can join our community on Discord where you'll get a lot of things to explore, and there is a lot of options to explore and talk about over there. So it's a very good forum for you guys, and you should definitely join it. And for the future sessions, stay updated. You can also join our WhatsApp group. We'll tell you about the future upcoming sessions and everything, and we'll share the recording with you guys on WhatsApp. And all the people who are asking for the links and other things, we will share this PPT with you guys too. So stay tuned, and thank you so much, everyone. A big thank you for joining this session.